Everybody, welcome to episode 94 of the Toys for Games podcast. We're recording this on a Tuesday night, October 25th, 2016. Our last episode before Halloween. I'm excited. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am joined by my regular co-host, none other than David Pumpkins.
Not see that one coming.
What I meant to say is Jason Greer. Hello, Jason.
Hello, how are we doing tonight, Josh?
Fantastic. What a great sketch that was.
Well, it's funny because I almost didn't watch that episode, so I'm glad I did it. I was been like, what the heck are you talking about?
I knew there was a chance that you haven't seen it, but it went viral. Like, there was enough YouTube videos out there to where you probably would have clicked on it at some point.
Black Jeopardy was one of the best SNL segments in a long time. Absolutely hilarious.
The voice he was doing and just like his little mannerisms were so spot on. Like, I don't think Tom Hanks gets enough credit these days for how good of an actor he is.
So good.
I just don't see him enough anymore.
And I love Keenan in that, like, how he even portrays that character.
Yeah.
Like, it's so fun.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, damn right it is, you know. But, yeah, and I was kind of disappointed when I saw it. I thought it was going to be the return of the skit they have where I always forget what it's called, but when they're in the haunted ride with, like, the different people pop up and they do, like, the robot thing.
Oh, right.
I forget what that sketch is called because it's that same Halloween kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's stupid, but that's one of my favorite reoccurring SNL skits.
Sure. David Pumpkins was pretty good, though.
David Pumpkins is pretty good.
I appreciate that he was on the brink of laughing pretty much the entire time, but he held it in. Like, for doing SNL, that is a tough gig to go up there, do it live. You know, sure, you've rehearsed it a few times, but to try not to break character and try not to bust out laughing, like, that is a talent.
Sure.
And he was so close to just cracking up so many times throughout that whole skit.
It's like the best of Will Ferrell skits.
Yeah.
You ever watch like that thing? Like everybody else just cannot hold it together. Like the two I always remember is the one in the jacuzzi tub, like the lover one.
Oh, right.
That one is no one can handle it. And then the infamous one where he's wearing his patriotic outfit with like the super tight like man underwear thong things.
Yep.
And just like stretching on the table. Like Seth Meyers can't even. I think it was Seth, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, Seth Meyers was done from the get-go. He wasn't even.
and like, you could try to prepare and like be ready because you know the jokes that are coming, but just to like see it fully acted out and see that other person in full-on character like that, like, I don't know how they do it, but I showed Val David Pumpkins tonight, and she was like, "This is the funniest thing ever." I'm like, "Yeah, this is." The music is stupid catchy, and the ending of it is, I think, like the best part of it.
Sure.
Where he just like pops up out of nowhere.
Is he a local celebrity or like what?
I'm just really in the weeds on this David Pumpkin guy. David S. Pumpkins. Why does he even have a middle initial? So good. This is episode 94, Toys for Games podcast, in case you couldn't tell. First off, I'd like to say thank you to our executive producer, George Torres, as always. And also a big thank you to our show sponsor, Devin Lachinsky, who you can find over on his YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/DLASCH2. That's the number 2. Oh boy, Jason. We talked about Halloween and trick-or-treating on the limited edition version, so I'm not going to go that route. Let's get out of here with that nonsense. I want to talk some college football.
Let's do it.
Penn State. What a game.
Did you watch the whole game?
No, I didn't see any of it.
Oh.
I just saw highlights, but I mean, I can't imagine what that would have been like to be there live and in person to see Penn State in their home stadium beat the number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes. That must have been an incredible experience for you to see live.
You're a jerk.
Were you not there?
No, I was not.
Oh.
I was supposed to be there.
What a bummer.
What a bummer, right?
As soon as I saw they were playing and they were playing at home, because for some reason in my head they were at Ohio State. When I saw they were at Penn State, I'm like, oh, Jason's totally at that game. Because why wouldn't he be at that game? Why wouldn't he want to go see Ohio State of all the teams, you know?
and that's like, cause that's I as told people before. My girlfriend's in the blue band, and so her family has 3 season tickets, and so her parents typically go, and then they have an extra ticket, and that they swap around family members or friends or whoever, and so, but this game, like I told her at the beginning, I told like her mom, like I don't care about any other game except for I want to go to the Ohio State game.
Sure.
You know, just because I have a connection with Ohio State too. Like I went to college like an hour away from it, so like I just talk crap all the time.
Right.
And so, so then, anyways, she didn't want to go. Her mom didn't want to go because of the nighttime game. Her dad was on call, so like all the tickets were up for grabs. I'm like, all right, I'm in. Anyways, her dad switched on call, and her mom, since her dad switched, then she could go. So that's down to 1. And then all of her family, like sisters and siblings and significant others and everything like that, were all free that weekend now. And I'm like, jeez Louise. So it was like 6 people fighting for this 1 ticket. So I'm like, all right, I'll back out. You know, I'll let somebody else can go since I'm not officially part of the family or anything, and go on that. And then like tickets are still cheap, so I kept telling Amy, I was like, I'll just buy a ticket and sit somewhere else. I don't really give a rip.
Right.
And then like it's gonna be this big old thing, you know, because I felt bad because her mom's gonna feel bad that I'm sitting somewhere else. Like, I don't care. You know, like I really don't care.
I just want to see Penn State versus Ohio State. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah. So, anyways, after the game, I texted Amy. I'm like, your sister better darn well love that game because I was like, she doesn't even like football, you know. But yeah. So I had a couple friends over. We had a good time watching it. Amy's prediction was that it was going to be quadruple overtime. Was actually what her prediction was. Which you know could have gotten close. But yeah, they it was a crazy game. Up and down game. One of the best Penn State games in a long time. There's an article going out actually saying that it actually might be, in the context of everything, might be the biggest, most important game that ever happened at Beaver Stadium. So
right. Well, it's like their biggest win since the whole program kind of, you know, went under for a while.
Yeah, it was a big deal for that. In the community, James Franklin, you know, he hasn't had a quote signature win, even though he doesn't like using that phrase. He won't say it. But it was big for the program. It was really big for the program. This class that's in this, they were the ones that came after the whole, you know, situation. And so, you know, it's good for them because they're, you know, hard work for all these years, sticking with the programs, finally becoming paid off. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happened with it. So
right. These were the kids that were punished for the things that they had nothing to do with, which, you know, with the whole Penn State thing, I was always of the mindset of like, yes, there needed to be some punishment, but it was super unfortunate that the kids coming into the school had to suffer, you know, like, and unfortunately there wasn't really any other option, you know?
Yeah. It's just a weird thing because there's nothing you can, you know, There's no right answer to it.
Sure. I mean, nothing that happened was okay at all.
Right. Yeah. Right.
But at the same time, like you can't punish people that had nothing to do with it.
You can't really get the justice that needs to be deserved.
Right.
But yeah, so super huge win, crazy ending of the game. It was nuts, absolutely nuts. I was screaming like crazy here, so it was fan freezing time. I thought they would stick up a fight, and my bet was that if they didn't get out early and just have some kind of lead, they weren't going to be able to stay with them fourth quarters, and it was actually completely the opposite.
Sure.
So. I mean, Penn State completed 8 passes the entire game. 8.
Yeah.
That's
It's not how to win a football game.
It's not a football game at all.
Did anybody in the local area was there a sense that this could be an upset? Or
there were some people like writing different theories and why this is happening. And like I even theorized it with them that, you know, I told Amy because they had that big game against Wisconsin the week before Ohio State did. And I said if Ohio State would lose that game, there's no way they're going to lose 2 weeks in a row. Like it would have been like a 60-point blowout, you know? But after that, you get exhausted. It's an emotional thing going to Penn State, which is a big deal, but it's just not as big a deal to them. And then they got Northwestern next week in Nebraska. So like it could be one of those look-ahead games. I mean, and then the Wisconsin game went to overtime, which again, it's not like that much more physical effort, you know, was exhausted. But still, you know, it's a longer game, mentally, stuff like that.
I mean, it's not like they played an entire quarter and went to a tie at the end.
Right. But they, but yeah, you know, it's so like I said, this would be the second away week in a row. You know, there's different factors that benefited into Penn State's favor. The fact that ESPN made a primetime ABC game, not an ESPN. I mean, there's a whole bunch of elements that got involved with it that seemed like this could be ready for an upset. But again, who honestly would pick it? I'm a huge Penn State fan. I'm like, there's no way Ohio State should lose this game.
No, it was 100% dead set that Michigan and Ohio State was going to go in playing each other, both undefeated, both going for the number 1 or number 2 spot in the country.
Right.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Not anymore.
Go Wolverines.
Crazy. But yeah, because JT Barrett, 20 of 43 for 245 yards and 1 touchdown. Like, not terrible numbers.
No.
Trace McSorley, 8 for 23, 154 yards, QB rating of 25 even.
Yeah.
And Penn State's leading rusher, 35 yards. That's it. 71 yards. Excuse me. Average was 35 because that was the one guy who broke to 1 tackle. Two players, 71. Penn State had 1 runner for 99 yards. It was just a sloppy game, but Penn State came out. So
how'd everybody's favorite place kicker do?
He didn't get very much options till like the end.
Sure.
He made 1 tackle. He got involved with 1 tackle. But he kicked 2 out of the end zone, I think. And there was one. I mean, again, there's 1 blocking. Like, it's not like he shouldn't be touched, but no cheap shots this week.
Right.
But that's I was waiting for. I was afraid that was going to happen at the end of the game.
Sure.
But, but woo, Nelly, what a game!
Goodness gracious. Conversely, not college football. The Monday night game.
Oh my God.
Seattle Seahawks, Arizona Cardinals. I'm not a Seahawks fan. I'm a Rams fan. But live in the Northwest. Everybody and their mother is a Seahawks fan, especially the last couple of years. It's like they couldn't name a single Seahawk from the last time they went to the Super Bowl when they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But now all of a sudden everybody's Seahawks fans. I don't know. I don't get it. Whatever. But oh boy, whew! It was that was a bad football game.
Oh, Nelly.
Kickers should not be allowed to determine the outcome of football games. It's unreal. Unreal.
Real bad.
Anyway.
Yeah, they, I was going to say, they, I'm trying to find on the schedule why didn't it host? Oh, was that Sunday night or was that
Sunday night game? I'm sorry, it wasn't Monday night.
Okay, that's what to say. Wait a minute.
Texans and Broncos played. Nobody really cared about that game.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I was say. As I was looking at, I was trying to look at the Monday nights. Like, there's been no really good primetime games this year.
No.
They're all terrible.
We get Dallas, Philly next week, right?
Dude, that's what I'm saying. You're welcome, America.
Yeah.
Like the Vikings-Packers 17-14 game wasn't bad a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
I mean, the Broncos-Panthers game wasn't that bad.
No.
The very beginning of the year. That was a Thursday night game, but
right.
But yeah, all the Thursday night games, to no one's surprise, have been trash.
Woof. It's Twitter's involvement.
Yeah.
I blame Twitter.
But yeah, it's so funny because like you remember, you used to always look so like Monday night games were always so good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Sunday night stuff is just like I mean I don't know if they're just choosing bad.
I just think. I mean, you look at the league, the league as a whole. A lot of teams that should be really good are mediocre.
Sure.
A lot of teams that were expected to be really good are bad. Sure. And then some bad teams are just kind of like there's a lot of parity in the league this year.
Sure, that's true.
A lot of even records, and I mean, look at the NFC North or the AFC North. Like that is a disaster of a division.
Yeah, so the NFC East is supposed to be trash again. It's the only division that has every team over 500.
Sure. But boy, there's about to be some drama in Dallas.
Next week, Vikings Bears pass.
Oof.
Following week, Bills Seahawks pass. Bengals Giants. Okay, it could be pretty good.
I don't trust the Bengals to ever put on a good game.
Sure.
Like I know they're good, they're a decent team, but I never trust them to just have a must-watch game.
Sure. Texans Raiders pass. Raiders is looking good though.
Yeah.
Packers Eagles, again, depending how the Packers and Eagles, I mean, how both teams are really doing at that point, could be an interesting game. Colts and Jets, hard pass. Ravens and Patriots, that's gonna be a slaughterhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Panthers and Redskins, probably both. I mean, Panthers are already done. Redskins will probably be done by then.
Yeah.
And then the last Monday night game, Lions and Cowboys.
That could be interesting. That could be playoff implications.
Again, depending. Sure.
Could be. Wild card team, at least. I don't know.
I said, I mean, there's lots of stuff in there, but they said about, I think the NFL needs to cut back. I mean, that's what, because ratings are down and everything like that. I mean, again, like, I watch the Thursday night games because they're on, but, like, it's on. I'm doing other stuff,
right,
you know?
Right.
Same thing with Monday night games. It's just like, I mean, I'm not saying to get rid of Monday or Sunday night. I mean, the London games in the morning, I guess I could see why they're there, but
let me tell you how upsetting it is to wake up on a Sunday at a normal, decent time and already have your NFL team lose for the day. That was the most depressing thing. I'm like, my Sunday's gone. Like, I don't even care anymore. Like, even if you play, like, the early morning game, if you want to sleep in, you can still catch, like, the second half of it or whatever.
Right.
I wake up, oh, Rams lost overseas. Cool. This is awesome. This is a great way to start the day.
Yeah.
Thanks, Europe.
But I just think in general, I think NFL teams are just bad.
Yeah.
I mean, like, even the Eagles-Vikings game was supposed to be a pretty good game. They literally had 5 turnovers in a 7-play stretch, you know?
Right.
It's just bad football.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But, hey, we have World Series baseball, so.
Dude, good game so far.
Yeah.
We'll shout out to Philadelphia Union. First time in playoff. Second time ever in their 7-year history.
There we go.
Playing tomorrow night. If you want to talk about backing into the playoffs, they are 0-5-2 in the last 7 games.
And still made it.
Still made it because they had to clinch on the last day, but and they lost that game 2-0.
Could you imagine, like, 7 matches ago, the coach is like, look, all we have to do is not lose every game and we're in the playoffs. And the players are like, oh, yeah? Watch us.
Well, here's the thing. I'll give it a second. But before that, they were on like a 6 or 7 game, not winning, but undefeated streak, like 5-0-2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're looking good, and they're just trashed. But the last week, if they lost, which they did in the Revolution, it created a tiebreaker, and the first tiebreaker is goal differential, and the Union had a +12. So, like, the Union had to get demolished, and New England had to demolish their team. So, like, the Union were already in. So I think it's like that's why there was no even pressure on it, because it's like they had to somehow lose 12 goals difference between the 2 games, which is just not going to happen.
Sure.
But yeah, they're playing Wednesday night, 7:30, playing one of the best teams in the East, so they're probably going to get murdered. But
hey,
whatever.
They made it.
They made it.
Yeah. Football. It's fall season, man. We got Halloween. We got football. World Series baseball.
Sixers tomorrow night. Championship.
Sixers. Blazers tip off here shortly. Their first game of the NBA season.
I was looking intriguing.
Best yet of all things happening in the fall, though, Jason.
What's that?
Gilmore Girls is returning.
Oh, man.
Whew.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I'm on episode 10.
Okay.
Of season 7.
Okay.
Last season before the 4-episode special.
Sure.
So I have not watched any of the previews. I have not watched the trailer. I haven't read anything.
Good. I'm so glad you didn't watch the trailer.
Because I don't want to know anything.
No.
I know stuff just because I know from, years of being past.
Sure.
But again, I'm like, I'm just playing as it is. Lorelai just got back from Paris.
Okay.
People are catching up. I won't say anything else beyond that.
Yep. That was a trip.
That was a trip.
Yeah.
So, looking good.
Boy, you have so much to go.
Crazy. Like, again, I'm starting to realize why I like watching old shows is because you get to see a bunch of actors before they're big and stuff.
Right.
The girls, I would not be able to pull her name out, but the girl's Jessica Jones. She's in Gilmore Girls. The Huntsberger, the boyfriend of Rory. Mm-hmm. He was in Friday Night Lights.
Oh, was he?
He was. I didn't even know. I looked him up because I was like, because he's really good actor. Yeah. And I'm like, he has to be in some other stuff. And I guess he was in The Good Wife or whatever. That was his main show the last 8 years then. Okay. But then he was on, it said Friday Night Lights. I was like, bull crap. And I was like, I'd be able to pull out Friday Night Lights actor. I have them all memorized. Sure. And he was on 5 episodes. He was a radio host at the end of the last couple of seasons. and I was like, oh, because his face looks different. Same haircut, but for some reason his face just looks different.
Sure.
But I would not have been able to guess that.
Right. I really like his character on the show.
Yeah, and Abed from Community's on Gilmore Girls.
Mm-hmm.
So it's fun. Like, hey, look at that, you know?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to tell you anything about the trailer. It was phenomenal. I think the most disappointing thing about the return of the Gilmore Girls is that it's only 4 episodes. Each episode is 90 minutes. But
is it? I didn't know how long it was.
Yeah, so the 90-minute episodes, but it still doesn't feel like it's going to be enough.
6 episodes, but
yeah.
Sure.
You know, it doesn't feel like it's going to be enough. You know, it's just like, by the end of it, you're going to be like, I need a full season. Like, this is stupid that we're not doing this. But the trailer showed every character. Every character.
That's what, yeah. I heard
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, I heard like everybody's coming back.
Yes.
And that's what I was hoping there was going to be some surprise cameos, but it sounds like they already showed like everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. No surprises that I could tell just from the trailer. The father, though, Lorelai's dad, that actor did pass away.
Pass away. I didn't know that.
Which is a bummer, but you know.
Was he famous before Gilmore Girls?
He had done some things, but nothing like what he did with Gilmore Girls. Like, he was a busy actor, and he was like off and on.
Okay.
You know, like he would go like several episodes of Gilmore Girls and not be on the show.
Right.
Because of other commitments, but like he wasn't doing anything of like super notoriety or anything.
Because they always put that tag on a special appearance by blah blah blah, and so like it
just because he was like a reoccurring character type of thing.
Right, and I was like, well, I didn't think he was that big of a person to get a special appearance credit, but because I liked him. The one thing I do, and this is like again, it's funny how television has changed, you know, throughout the time. I'm glad that like most TV we've gotten rid of a lot of previously on. Some stuff still does, like a lot of the big drama stuff does, but like later on, like there's stuff like previously on, and it'll bring some clip from like two months, like 2 seasons ago, and you're like, why are they showing this? And it ruins the surprise. You're like, oh great, that person's gonna show up in this episode. Whereas like if it didn't, I would have been like, oh my god, you know. So it's like why would you do like it's just like stuff that just didn't bother us, I guess, back in the late 90s and early 2000s.
Sure.
But now it's like, you know, and even stuff like that, like about when the preview credits about who's all in this episode. You know, I'm like, I would love if, you know, oh, her parents are in this episode? Great. Like, I wouldn't have known they were in this episode. It would have been funny if I didn't know they were in this episode.
Right.
But
I will say, I don't want to ruin anything for you, but I will say in the trailer, they showed Lorelai and Rory having dinner at her mom's house. And sitting at the table next to Lorelai,
Kirk, please be Kirk,
was Kirk.
Yes, dude. I was gonna say, I haven't heard if he was in it or not, but Kirk's by far my favorite character.
And I don't know what the context is, but the line Lorelai's mom looks over and she goes, she just stops like mid sentence, and she's like, "Who is this guy again?" And Lorelai just like, I can't even. Like,
dude, Kirk is the best.
So I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea why he's there. I can't wait to find out, though. But
and again, I won't give context for anything away for ruining the events of it, but it's not really a spoiler for people. But when Kirk opens up a rival coffee shop,
oh, it's so good.
Oh my gosh. He's going to countersue. Oh my gosh.
I wonder if somebody has made like just a supercut of just all Kirk scenes throughout like the seasons. Because I would watch that in a heartbeat.
So funny.
Unbelievable.
Like, it's so funny because he's one of those people, like, if he was in real life, I would not be his friend at all. Like, he would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
But oh my god.
And when I was watching it with Val, like, first 2 seasons, I'm like, I don't know who this character is. Like, he's crazy, but he looks super familiar. Like, I can't place him at all. And, like, finally I had to IMDb. I'm like, Guardians of the Galaxy? Really? That's it? That's Kirk? Because he looked so young back then, you know?
Right.
Oh, man. Gilmore Girls. If you guys aren't watching Gilmore Girls, you need to rectify that.
This is what I tell people all the time. Because I went in with the misconception. Because again, like I told the story way back when for long listeners, I just wanted to watch like a dumb chick flick.
Yep.
So it's like, all right, Gilmore Girls screams chick flick,
Sure.
but it's not. It's
No.
really not.
No.
You know, there's some girl drama stuff in there as far as like your sappy love story stuff, but it's more funny than anything else.
Sure.
Having a grand old time with it.
There's a podcast out there, and you know we don't usually have to talk about other podcasts on this show, but there's a podcast
Gilmore
out there,
Guys?
Gilmore Guys.
I haven't listened to it. I heard
I
it
am
was saying.
so mad that I didn't come up with that beforehand because it's so. I would do that in a heartbeat.
100%.
Ah, it's so good, so good. Well, Jason, you better finish the series before the new Gilmore Girls starts, and I'm gonna issue this challenge right now.
All right.
Val told me today she's going to start rewatching the entire series again in preparation for the new Gilmore Girls. So I'm telling you, she's crazy, but you know she works from home, so she
she has an advantage.
sure. She puts the shows on in the background while she's working and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like she's planning on doing it, so you know she has some catching up to do to you. But the gauntlet's thrown.
Sure. I'll get it done. That's like when I had to get all Full House done before Fuller House came out.
Right.
I knew how many episodes there were, and like each night I would divide how many days there were, how many episodes I had left, and I had to hit a certain pace of like I was like 2.5 per night, you know.
Yep.
And then like there's nights when I don't hit it, I'm like, oh shit, it's gonna mess my average up. And
there's
so
an art form to
feeling
marathoning seasons.
There's what?
There's an art form to marathoning seasons.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's talk about some toys, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's get down to the brass tacks of this show. Look, we just spent a half hour talking about football and Gilmore Girls. Why? Because not much happened this week. We have some news to talk about, sure, but let's be real. It wasn't a big, heavy news week, so we're gonna do the best with what we have. We're gonna start off with speaking about Lightseekers. Lightseekers, part of the podcast, is sponsored by Christopher Long from Long's Toys. You can find him over on Twitter at CLong83. That's the letter C, Long83. And you could also find his YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/Long's Toys. Jason, we have 10 days to go with the Lightseekers Kickstarter campaign. Where are we at?
Yeah, so one thing, I don't know if you saw on Saturday, I think it was, about Long missing his package. Did you see that?
No, I think I missed that.
It's always a terrifying thing for me. Something I was excited for, and it came, it's like, I think it said it was delivered, but they put it in like a different lockbox or something.
Ooh.
And so I guess he asked the neighbor, and the neighbor didn't have it. And so that's like, where did it go? You know, because the postal service was just like, I don't know, it was delivered, you know?
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But I guess you never explained, but it did show up then. They got it then, but it's some.
That's good.
Yeah, I guess it's some Japanese thing. I actually don't know what it is. Sorry, Long's Toys. But So Link Chu, I guess, is a Gundam thing. I guess he bought it from or something or other.
Oh, okay.
Or no, I guess it's a person he bought it from. I don't know. Anyways, he bought it back from somebody. He was excited for it.
Yeah, that is a horrible feeling though when it says delivered and it's not delivered, and you're like, when Amazon does that, like they'll mark, oh yeah, it's delivered, sure. And you're like, no, it's not, and then you like sit around and like 7:59 p.m. there's a knock on your door, and you're like, oh, why'd you mark it off as delivered if it's still en route? You know,
I'm trying to remember what it was, but it's something I was ordering from Amazon. It was coming UPS, and I ship most like important stuff. I was sitting outside of my work now since I have a desk job. We can just deliver it right to me. Mm-hmm. And something was delivered. I'm like, false. I've been sitting here and nothing came, you know? and like looking around and nobody's came to UPS today. I'm like, where the heck did they go? And it was something like I was super like needing. It was like important. It was like, I don't know, something expensive. But I was just like, man, this is crazy. And I was trying to find around. And so we have a split level office. Again, small little office. There's like 5 office workers. Mm-hmm. And we have a couple of drivers and whatnot. And I'm like, where could it go? And like, I'm on first name basis with the UPS driver. And I'm like, where in the world did this go? And so like, I was going to ask him. Well, then my uncle went downstairs. He's like, I found your package. I'm like, what? And like, we had a different UPS driver. And he decided to come in the back way and just like open the door to like the basement where like the drivers check in, and he just put it inside.
Oh, that's weird.
And I'm like, what? Like,
that is not okay, sir.
That. Yeah. But anyways, Lightseekers, currently 9 days to go as of recording this. ends on Friday, November 4th at 12:17 p.m. Eastern Time. So mark that time on there, and hopefully we can shoot off some confetti cannons. But they need $200,000 for their goal to be fully funded. They currently have 1,200 backers and have a total of $164,161 as of recording this episode. So about 82% of the way there. So,
sure.
Well, still on a good pace in there, but obviously still need to reach some new people to get new people involved. So,
right.
Let's see.
They did like make up quite a bit during like the middle of their campaign, which is usually the slowest part of campaigns.
Sure.
I was surprised to see that jump up to where they're at now. Like the last week is definitely going to be crunch time.
Sure.
The most exciting time, probably the most nerve-wracking time for them.
Sure.
But I mean, on pace, looking good. And it feels like they keep tweaking things and adding things, and they're allowing people to add different parts of the game to the package that they are pledging, which is super nice because, it's broken down like, are you going to be interested in playing the card game? Are you interested in the figures? Are you interested in just helping us out? Are you interested in full starter packs? And it's broken down in a nice way to let people customize the package that they're backing.
Sure.
Which you don't see very often with Kickstarters. It's very structured and rigid by what you could pledge, and it seems like they're doing the right things to incentivize people to support them. So
yeah, they the first time I really saw that being used was with Beast of Balance.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know you could do that per se. Like I thought it was just pledging and whatever. So it's kind of because I think I bought like the play mat and something else.
Yeah, the add-on items.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, it's kind of cool with this. I haven't updated mine because I know I'm pretty high on it on the stuff, so I probably get a couple lower stuff. But I did see they had that comparison chart, like the different things you can get, and there is some stuff that lower channels get that I don't get on there. So I'm like, can I publish like a second time to get those lower things too? Like I'll have to probably like a day or two left. I'll go back and finalize my final pledge and do all the add-ons. But more than likely, it's probably gonna be hit a select all button per se.
Sure. Just check. Check out, please.
Like, sir, you already have all the cards. I don't care. What more? Check.
Where's the option to drive the tank? That's at the bottom, sir. So we'll keep you updated. Obviously, our next episode will be the last few days of their campaign, and then we'll have a final recap of how they did. Obviously, that's going to affect how much we talk about them on the show. I don't want to say that the game's not going to happen if they don't get funded, but being funded is definitely going to accelerate the process of this game coming out and being in the hands of people and people playing it and enjoying it and seeing what it's all about. So we're definitely pulling for them because we enjoy talking about Lightseekers, and we definitely want to play it. We want to experience it. We want to get our hands on it, and I kind of feel like our community feels the same way. So.
And I just looked there. 3 more people bought the Lightseeker pack where you get to drive the tank. So 4 people bought that.
That's fantastic.
16 to 20. Here's the thing, Lightseekers, if you're listening, let's have a chat real quick. Josh and I have been on board from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
We've been early pushers for this. We're constantly early pushers for this.
Mm-hmm.
Super excited for this. I think we're both, saying we're pushing pretty high, getting people on board. If we just pay completely, you don't have to worry about us at all. We'll pay the whole flight, pay for the hotel, pay for our food. We'll just show up for like 15 minutes at the VIP party. We'll let people have their whole huge thing with the tank, stuff like that.
Sure.
Can we sneak out back and drive the tank? Like we won't tell anybody. We don't
need the recognition that the other people that are clearly paying more than we possibly can to help you guys. Right. We don't need that.
We can do it the day after, even.
Sure. We can warm it up for him.
Right. Here's the thing, though. I never knew how much I wanted to drive a tank until I heard there was a possible way you could drive a tank. Really want to drive a tank. I'll sign the waiver because I guarantee you I'm more than likely going to crash it into something. So, I don't care if it's half a second because I'll probably panic and let go of the controls.
Sure.
But I really want to drive a tank.
I feel like they need to take the tank out in the most wide open area possible you know, and put it in the lowest gear, so it'll take like 10 minutes for you to actually hit anything.
Sure.
But yeah, let's talk.
And yeah, and here's the thing. Josh and I both have pretty fantastic tuxedo t-shirts, so we'll be more than happy to come to the VIP party. So
just saying.
High class this thing up.
Just saying.
You know, you have our number.
Yeah, you definitely have our number. We love the UK this time of year.
Who doesn't?
We could go see James Holian. Oh, that reminds me. Jason Joyce, longtime member of our community and listener of the show. Him and his wife just had a baby over the weekend.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't think I saw that.
He sent me a DM about it.
Oh, yeah.
I knew they were close, and he was starting to stress out, and so now he has 2 daughters and his wife. He's feeling drastically outnumbered in his house, understandably speaking. But you know, we're there in support. But you know, Lightseekers, if you let us come over there, we could come hang out with our friends, and you know, make everything all right for everybody.
I mean, if you think about it, then they really are the ones stopping us from hanging out with our friends. So do you really want that like hanging on yourselves? You know,
I would think not. You know, that's
very unkind of them.
It is. You know, they should be really thinking about our community first and foremost. What could they do to help us? Obviously, we're completely joking, but seriously, let us drive the tank.
And make sure we're the last ones to drive it, because we don't want to break it for somebody.
Sure. Let the people that are entitled to have it, let them have their fun. You know, let them shoot the cannons, whatever you could actually do with the tank. We'll just I don't know, maybe just put up some targets or something.
You're making a Shopkins gun?
A fruit cannon. Again, we just want to see the whiteboards. We want to play some Lightseekers card game in person with you guys.
Sure.
We heard you guys are pretty good at it. We challenge you.
That should be the challenge.
Officially.
If we go to the VIP party, we could challenge somebody, and if we win the game, we get to drive the tank.
There we go. I like that.
That's fair.
Yeah. That way, if we lose, that's on us.
Right.
That's our fault. You have our number.
We'll give an extra $5.
Let's move on over to LEGO Dimensions, shall we? LEGO Dimensions is sponsored by our friend in the UK, who hopefully we're going to be seeing when he joins us to drive a tank around, James Holian. You can find him on Twitter at Infinity Museum. Thank you, James. Hopefully we'll see you soon.
Indeed.
What's going on with LEGO Dimensions?
LEGO Dimensions this week. If you use their app, we got updated this week to get you the new content there, showing off Wave 6 and 7. Some other information and stuff on there for you. So if you're using that to keep track of your collection, you can finally get that updated. Better keep hand of everything you have in your collection already.
Do you want me to read the full details of what the update entails?
Absolutely.
Now, I have the iOS version. I don't know how different it is on the Android version. I don't know if the Android version has been pushed out yet. My iOS version got pushed out tonight, so take that as you will. The name of the app is LEGO Dimensions Collection Vortex. The update includes details on Story Pack and its features, which I checked out. It does, in fact, include that. Details on Wave 6 and 7 packs, including images of the toys, character videos, and building instructions. There should be an asterisk because they have the building instructions for Wave 6. They do not have the building instructions yet for Wave 7. Is it too much to ask, LEGO Dimensions, to put up the building instructions on launch day of Wave 7?
If you're busy on launch day, just do it the day before.
Sure. We can have them early. Just don't.
There's no secrets in them. I don't understand why it's such a big deal.
Don't make us do it in game. I want to have everything ready to go so when I sit down to play the game, I don't have to stop playing the game to build Lego.
Put it on your YouTube channel, free money. Yeah. And then I'll stop using other people's YouTube channels.
Sure. Or LEGO Dimensions, you have our number. Send us the building instructions. We'll make a YouTube video officially sponsored by LEGO Dimensions and show people how to build things. And then we'll have it up on launch day. Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
The update also includes updated Wave release calendar. Now includes Wave 6 and Wave 7 packs. I'm not sure why they had to include Wave 6 into the release calendar, but c'est la vie. And new selfie feature and scan and build capability for select events. So I don't know what the selfie feature is yet. Couldn't figure that one out. But you could...
I guess it's probably going to be used for Brick Live this weekend or whatever.
Probably. But also you could like scan in what packs you have. You just kind of take a picture of it and it's like, oh, you have the ET fun pack, and then it adds it to your collection and stuff. So instead of sorting through it and clicking the I have this button. So it's a decent little app. It's definitely running better than it did when it first launched a year ago. Because that was super buggy back then. Felt like it crashed like every 10 seconds. But it's definitely marketing driven. It's part of the corporate machine, if you will. It's a good way, decent way to keep track of which figures are out there, which ones are available, which ones you have, which ones you don't have. If you're not, full collectors and you kind of forget which figures you have, understandable. Is it the most ideal way to keep track of your collection? No, it's not. If only there was an app or a website that you could easily keep track of your full collection, not just of LEGO Dimensions, but all your Toys to Life figures, all of your collectibles, say Funko Pop, say Tsum Tsum, or any of that kind of stuff, Yokai Watch medals, whatever it is. If somebody was just, had the foresight to come up with some sort of web-based product that allows you to make almost not just a checklist, but a completion list of your collection. And be able to cross those.
Cross-reference your collection?
Cross-reference your collection with your other collections, and it's just like this one giant collection crossing of figures and toys. Man, if somebody could just come up with that, gold, I tell you.
Easy money.
You're losing money not building that. Just saying. Other than that, LEGO Dimensions has nothing really going on this week.
No.
Kind of just buckling down, waiting for Wave 7 to launch. Fantastic Beasts. Where to find them.
It's going to be good.
Have I told you my dilemma with this Fantastic Beasts movie?
Because you don't know if you want to watch it because you haven't caught up on everything else?
Yeah, because Matt has to watch it first.
Right.
And then he has to sign off on whether or not I could watch it. How stupid is that?
That's quite stupid.
It is, and it upsets me because I really want to watch it. And I wanted to watch it like day one, like first showing. Thankfully, with time zones, that might still be possible. I just need him to give the okay that, it's something I could watch. But I need a babysitter at this point. And of all people, Matt Sonnenberg. Who knew? Yeah,
I'm hoping I might try and see it Friday. Amy's getting home that day. But I think she might not be getting home till real late Friday night, so I might try and go see it beforehand. But I might be trying to play the LEGO Dimensions packs then too, so
sure.
Who knows?
Yeah, that's the other part. Like the story pack, what's it going to have in there?
Sure.
So many things, man. So many things. LEGO Dimensions, you're making my life miserable. It's my own fault, really. Let's move on to Amiibo, shall we?
Let's do it.
The Amiibo part of the podcast is sponsored by our friend Michael O'Driscoll. You can find him on Twitter at Amiibo_museum. Not to be confused with Shopkins_museum. Just want to throw that out there. There was a heated debate a few days ago on Twitter whether or not Shopkins Museum was going to be a thing. Michael O'Driscoll stands firm in his stance that he will only be doing Amiibo_museum. But you know, other
Careful
people have said they
careful
weren't.
what you wish for.
Yeah, other people said they weren't going to get into Shopkins, and I mean, look at Atari Alex.
Always people, you know, hating LEGO Dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
People are hating on Skylanders.
Yep.
You know, Disney Infinity gets canceled, and then they're coming over and like, oh, it actually isn't that bad.
I mean, we have Amiibo Jason browsing the Skylander section on Skylander release day.
Right.
The man...
You know he's playing. You know he's playing.
Oh, 100%. He'll never, ever admit that. He'll never show it off. But you know he bought the starter pack that day.
You know he did.
He wanted the crash. And the chaos.
Everyone wants the chaos.
Mm.
We have the chaos.
Most everybody has the chaos at this point. Which
I
I
have 3
appreciate.
chaos. Chaos-I?
Chaosy? Chaoses?
Chaosin?
We'll have to get clarification on that.
Check with Jack, the background writer.
Sure. Anyway, Amiibo.
Yeah, so Amiibo this week. Obviously, last week was the big reveal of the Nintendo Switch versus the Nintendo NX. I like the NX name better, but I think the Nintendo Switch name will do much better for the general consumer.
Yep.
So
It tells exactly what the product is in one word.
Fantastic name on that sense. Favorite thing about the Nintendo Switch was someone got a screenshot very quickly of the Google image search result for Nintendo Switch and just put RIP because it was whatever it was. It's never going to be it again.
Right.
It was all the RF adapter way back when the NES, so you could adapt it into your coax cable and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's what Nintendo Switch was.
Sure.
You know, prior to this. But yeah, so questions about whether it's going to support Amiibo or anything like that. Statement Nintendo said, Nintendo rep said to IGN was, quote, if the Nintendo Switch game supports Amiibo, then the Nintendo Switch home gaming system will as well. Which that sounds like a statement from like a developer, not an official PR person. Like,
yeah.
Weird. Like it almost sounds like it's a proprietary thing. Like if they want to support it, then they're gonna have to make something to support it.
Sure.
You know?
Which is super weird. Like it's super vague. I mean, obviously they're not really revealing much else than what they showed in that initial trailer of the Switch when they announced it, the announcement trailer. You know, they haven't really answered very many questions after that. They want to not talk about it until 2017. I respect that. They're trying not to muddy up the holiday season and this fall season of releases. And then once 2017 hits, it's going to be like 3 straight months of marketing, 2.5 months probably, of just a blitzkrieg of Nintendo marketing, and we'll know everything. Doors will be blown open on Switch. For now, we don't know much. So I understand them not wanting to answer like these kind of questions about Amiibo. I mean, I think we both agree that it is going to have Amiibo support.
Right.
But the fact that they're just kind of leaving it open to where it's like, I mean, it could, but it there's no confidence in the fact that Amiibo is coming out and it's going to be a thing for the Switch in the long run.
If it was coming, they would just say yes.
Right.
Yes. Details to come. But like this makes it seem like my theory is that it's not built into the system.
Sure.
And so that there's going to be something like that Bluetooth wireless adapter or something like that, and that, you know, saying if they want to support it in there, then, you know, so maybe they're trying to say that in future stuff too. Like, you know, even people said before, like, which I hope it sounds fun, but sounds like fun in theory, but it sounds awful in the reality of it. People were saying about you could swap in like different accessories then to like the controller piece. So like you can make like a fishing rod one or like a fight stick one, you know, on the side. Like, oh, that'd be fun. But then it's like, oh my God, can you imagine how many pieces you would have lying around?
Yeah.
Like, sounds awful.
All those different Joy-Cons.
Yeah. Also, that's a terrible name.
Really? You think so?
Absolutely.
It has grown on me significantly.
Like, I get it, but I think it's just, like, no one's going to call it that.
Joy-Cons? I think it'll... I mean, did we think Wiimote was going to ever catch on? Or
I think
Nunchuck?
it's like remote. Like, people get it. Like, Joy-Con is such a mouthful. Like, I don't see a parent going to... I don't see same thing. Parents didn't call them nunchucks either. They call it an accessory piece. I'm saying the general consumer is not going to call it a Joy-Con.
I will bet you're wrong here.
I don't think people are going to go into GameStop and be like, hey, do you have any replacement Joy-Cons?
I will not be surprised.
All
I'm
right.
telling you. I mean, look at the PlayStation 4 controller. We don't call it the PlayStation 4 controller anymore. We call it the DualShock, right?
What's written on it?
Sure. So it has to be written for it to catch on?
I think it has to be. No one's going to know it's called a Joy-Con.
Oh, Nintendo will make sure everybody knows they're called Joy-Cons. I am not concerned about
The only
that.
way, like I said, the only way they will is if they do make the accessories for it, making other ones. I think they'll call it on there, but
Sure.
we'll see. Did you read the interview, or not the interview, watch the video of the guy who was one of the actors in the video?
No.
He's a Twitch streamer or a YouTuber or something like that. Not a famous one, but just somebody who does uploads regular Nintendo stuff.
Sure.
And him and his friend or something like that heard like they're just looking for a general gamer or something or other. So like they not even actors, like, okay, let's just try this for kicks. And so they went and they got like a second call back, and they came back, did that, and then they still didn't know what it was for. And he said even the day of shooting, he still didn't know what it was for. He said, but there's something on there that said something about a Gen 7 jacket or something like that was like the label in his closet. So he's trying to figure like Gen 7, and he like pieced it together, thinking it was the new Nintendo console. And they said they had to lock their phones up for 12 hours. Like you put your phone, they gave everything.
Mm-hmm.
They had locked up for a long time. Said he didn't get to see any gameplay or anything like that because everything's on there's rendered after.
Sure.
There's no live video off the screen. So he said they got to touch it, but obviously they didn't get to play anything or even see any videos or anything like that. And he didn't even get to keep the jacket or something like that. But he's one of the guys on the Splatoon team.
Okay.
One of those guys. But
sure. Did they know the name of it?
That I do not know.
Could you imagine the stack of NDAs they had to sign to do that commercial?
Right. Well, that's what I was telling people before. I mean, that's what I said about Pokemon Sun and Moon. How many people had to have seen like the art and everything like that?
Right.
But there was. I mean, not talking about like the Evo scene that they put the new stuff on there, but just a physical number of actors that saw that device. That's a lot of people.
Right.
I was curious when they recorded it. I don't think that was answered. I was wondering if it was only recorded like a week ago.
Sure. But still, like, nothing leaked from that at all. Like, all the leaks we had were from patents, really,
Right. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I
wonder how long ago Nintendo filed the name Switch for trademark.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's probably years ago.
Yeah. I mean, you could have a long time ago, and no one would ever think anything of it.
Sure. Because these big companies file patents and trademarks all the time.
Right.
Non-stop. And 10% of them actually make it to market.
Yeah.
If that. So, anyway, it's... I know Nintendo fans, specifically Amiibo fans, wanted like a definite reassurance that Amiibo was going to be a thing going forward with the Nintendo Switch. Relax a little bit, because definitely Amiibo will be involved. To what extent, that's hard to say.
Right.
Because they are marketing this thing as a home console that you could take on the go. So, how does Amiibo fit into that scenario?
And remember, the device is going to be docked, so there's no way to tap it to it at all. So it's going to have to be a wireless thing.
Yeah. And that's kind of what brought up the community question.
On the road.
Yeah. It's super cloudy right now with how that's going to work. I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
We will see. It would be a shame if Nintendo decided Amiibo wasn't a thing anymore. Or, they're moving on because of what this Switch is, but we'll know in 2017. Until then, enjoy the Amiibo you have, folks. And there's still the Breath of the Wild and those Amiibo coming next year for your Wii U.
Sure.
For sure. After that, guess we'll find out.
For sure.
E3 is going to be very interesting next year. As far as Nintendo is concerned.
Yeah.
Anyway, Skylanders Imaginators. This segment is sponsored by our good friend Matt Sonnenberg. You can find him on Twitter at SCLMatt. Check out the website sclmatt.com. which links you to all of his other projects, including the one he is most notorious and famous for, SkylandersCharacterList.com. Go over there, check him out. Please don't give him guff about not updating with a whole bunch of Skylanders news on Skylanders release week. Like, he's playing the game. He's trying to make content. He's trying to get stuff going in the game so that he could put up stuff. People over there harassing him about why he's not updating with news articles and daily stuff. And it's like, the game just came out. The game that we've all been waiting for months now. So breathe. Go play the game along with Matt. And then you guys could come back collectively and, have a little talk about what's going on.
Is this a global PSA or is this something that you're doing to him?
No, global PSA.
Okay.
There were people on his website harassing him about why he wasn't updating with news articles and stuff this last week. And he's like, because playing the
Was
game.
it really?
Yeah.
Jeez,
And thankfully he had some other fans shut those people down like immediately. We're like, hey, seriously, this is release week. Like, he's
sure
putting together video content and trying to get everything ready to go. He didn't get the game early. He didn't have the luxury of being able to do this ahead of time. He has to do it along with everybody else. So, like, what do you expect him to do? Also, is there really that many Skylander news tidbits going on that he needs to write about? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But there's some, and you can find all those over at SkylandersInquirer.com.
That's right. Place for living in the dirt.
Yep. What's going on?
Yeah, so this week we did get official image for the Toys R Us toy book of the Jingle Bell Chompy Mage, which is a Christmas variant this year coming out for Skylanders. So it looks again coming out in November, just like normal. It's probably not going to be a store exclusive or anything like that. I mean, it might show up first at Toys R Us just because stuff typically does.
Sure.
But
he looks like
Jingle
Santa
Bell,
Claus.
Chompy Mage. Looks like Santa Claus.
Oh, it's so good.
I'm
so happy with it.
I know, I'm too. Because I was curious what they're gonna do with the Chompy on his hand, but I like how they handled it. So
sure.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite Christmas variant we've ever had. So
yeah.
But yeah, pretty cool. So got some pictures in of that. So again, look for it in your ad whenever you're getting that soon. Then
was there a release date on that by chance?
No.
Okay. We're thinking November.
Mid-November when Wave 3 happens.
Yeah. Okay.
We did get thanks to some data miners. Did you get some information for the other variants coming out as well? Obviously, we already know about Legendary Pit Boss, Jingle Bell, Chompy Mage, the Mystical Taekwon Crow that we knew was coming, but have no idea, what or how it's being released. But then Bad Juju is also going to be getting a mystical line. And then beyond that, we're getting an Egg Bomber Airstrike. That will be our Easter variant this year. And then a Solar Flare Aurora, which I'm very curious to see what that one is as well. So the mystical one, since there's two of them, I could see that, being a Target exclusive. Maybe they're getting a delayed, exclusive line or something.
Replacing the Nitro line.
Yeah. But then like the solar flare one, I have no idea.
You think that's just employee giveaway special?
It could be.
It sounds more special than a normal variant,
Sure. Because I was thinking that might just be like another Power Blue situation where we just
That's true. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, as I'm saying, just something that's coming flat out of nowhere.
Sure.
So, we'll see, but exciting times nonetheless.
Yes. We have some contests going on?
Yes, sorry. Yeah, so we got some Skylanders contests going on as well.
I don't even want to know what's distracting you right now.
Well, I was trying to find something else real quick.
Okay.
But yeah, we got some contests coming up for your Skylanders creations through official outlets at Skylanders.com/creation contest, as well as the Cartoon Network video finally came up this week. So if you want to enter in on that way, you just upload your picture and you tag it different hashtags and all that kind of fun jazz. But those are all available, and you win 3D printed figures So if you want to check that out, you can enter in those different ways.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to.
What's up?
Trying to find current Wave 3 release schedule.
Okay.
We know we're getting the Thumbin' Islands Adventure Pack with Crash Bandicoot and Dr. Neo Cortex.
Sure.
An Enchanted Elven Forest Adventure Pack with Boom Bloom. Looks like we're getting Dr. Crankcase double pack as well as the Pinata double pack. But we haven't got the double packs in the US yet for Wolfgang and stuff, so I'm curious to see if that will pan out here as well, or if it will get delayed on that.
That's a double pack with a Creation Crystal?
Crystal, yes,
okay,
yeah.
Okay.
And then the 8-pack will probably show up here in the US if it was to show up.
Question. Actually, now
yes.
I'm thinking about the crystal that's going to be in the double pack with like Dr. Crankcase. Is that going to be a crystal that's sold individually?
We do not know.
Oh God, I don't want to buy another Dr. Crankcase.
Yeah,
I don't want to have to.
The same for me. Yeah.
I mean,
as I was saying before, it's going to be a trap situation where
Yeah.
we don't even know what's coming in each pack, so you just kind of... I mean, same thing with the 8-pack. It could very well be a situation where one gets exclusive in that pack,
Yeah.
and you already have 7 of them.
God, they would do that, wouldn't they?
You know they would. People act surprised every single year.
And you get a Creation Crystal, and you get a Creation Crystal. I'm going to be giving those out like candy at a New Year's Day parade.
But then we're also getting... looks like we're getting Buckshot, Chain Reaction, Flare Wolf, Pit Boss, Bad Juju, and it was obviously the Jingle Bell chopping page.
That's all Wave 3?
Yeah.
That's a solid wave.
Yeah, and again, that's stuff could change because, like I said, there's stuff that's out in the UK. This was information from a UK retailer, so stuff that the internationally got that we haven't gotten yet. So obviously, stuff could still shift around.
Sure, but all the figures though, we've all gotten the same.
Yes. Yeah.
So, interesting. I saw the 3-packs at my Walmart the other day of the old characters.
Oh right, yeah, I heard they were saying now.
Yeah, super weird. Not gonna lie.
I wonder if they're a Walmart exclusive. I wouldn't be
Nothing on the
surprised.
package said exclusive.
Yeah, I could see them just being just because I mean, just like Walmart got those 3-pack of the Disney Infinity figure things.
Sure.
I mean, as Walmart's cheap thing, they're like, yeah, we'll sell your reused crap.
Yeah, them and Toys R Us. Like I can see Toys R Us also doing it because they seem to cater the most to, and have the most space for that kind of stuff.
But I think Toys R Us still has all the old figures, so I don't think they would necessarily want to buy the old.
That's true.
They're never going to sell that stock if they bought all the stock of new
Sure.
ones.
Yeah, it's just I got excited because it's like the new packaging and it looks fancy and special. Then it's just like, oh, those are just the same old figures. I was staring at them like there has to be something different about these. There has to be a reason for me to buy these right now, and couldn't find anything.
Sure.
Couldn't justify it. Skylanders Academy.
Yep, Skylanders Academy coming out this weekend, Friday morning at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. So get ready for that. 12 to 13 episodes, for which number it is. But all available all at once at that time frame. So excited to check that out.
Midnight.
Super.
I know what I'm doing at midnight.
Yeah, right?
3 a.m. is a little rough for you.
Yeah, I got spoiled that one time they released Orange is the New Black the night before. Remember that? It's like every time I keep like, oh, they're gonna do it again, but I don't think they're ever gonna do it again. But
sure.
But yeah, super fun. I'm kind of like I'm excited, but not that's all at once. I mean, I understand the Netflix formula, and so I'm glad they have it. But
sure,
it's one. I am glad that the what are they calling it? The new driving show on Amazon.
New driving show on Amazon.
Yeah, the guys with oh my gosh.
Fast and the Furious.
No. The Grand Tour.
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about.
With Top Gear? You know the show?
Oh, Top Gear, okay.
And the new one's called The Grand Tour.
Gotcha. I don't pay much attention to that.
Uh,
Sorry.
They on Amazon, but they're going to do a weekly, even though it's a digital thing like that. They're doing a weekly episode, so I'm kind of glad like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Get it all at once.
Sure. Yeah, Skylanders Academy. I mean, second best way to consume Skylanders content. First, of course, playing the new game. Jason, what do you think of the new game so far?
It's enjoyable.
Have you actually started playing it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I played the first 45 minutes and then fell asleep.
Okay, fair enough.
So like I said, it's still in general, it's just such a slow paced game.
Sure.
And that's like any of the Toys Life games. It's not just Skylanders, it's just all of them are also slow based.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't hold my attention for very long.
Sure. The best way I've figured out how to play it is like if you have an hour, sit down, play one level, know that you're gonna only be playing one level's worth, and then move on.
Right.
And then just do it 1 hour chunks at a time. Because once you start trying to marathon it, which I'm going to be doing for Extra Life, but it gets exhausting after a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I'm glad you played it. Matt and I were talking about this last night, and I was like, I know for sure he hasn't started it yet.
And I played... Oh, what night would that have been?
Probably over the weekend.
Yeah, it must have been Thursday or Friday night.
Sure. Cool. Well, it's a good game. I'm having fun with it.
Yeah, it was good fun.
With that being said, let's move over to our community question, shall we?
I will say too, I forgot to post a picture, but I am happy with I made a knight guy, creation crystal guy.
Okay.
Imaginator, I should say.
Sure.
With like a full metal knight helmet, but then like wears disco pants.
Nice.
And like the same as music and everything, like that's all disco dance based.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what was his catchphrase? I can't remember. But it was a pretty good pun between just dancing and a knight.
Sure.
I got it worked pretty good, but I'll have to see what it is. But I was pretty proud.
I made a knight or a dark class dark element smasher class, and he's this giant dude, like beefed up, and he has like a luchador mask, so he looks like a giant pro wrestler.
Nice.
Named him Fight Night.
Nice.
I was proud of that one. But then today I topped myself. I made the banana guy. I got the full banana costume, like the banana head. And he has his banana legs, and I came up with a torso and some arms, and he's full on banana gear, and he's the life element, and he's the I forget which class it is, the sharpshooter, the one with like the two guns.
Yep. Bazooker.
No, not the bazooker.
Quick shot.
Quick shot class. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And his two guns are like banana guns. I named him. Get ready for this, and you guys can steal this out there if you want. Just give me credit. Plant Tame. The plantain aim.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Pretty solid, right?
That's pretty solid.
Yeah. I'm having fun creating the guys. I'm not gonna lie. Although, I do get nervous each time I'm picking a battle class because I'm like, am I sure? Am I really sure? Wait, I better go look through them again just to make sure. And it's like, no, I have other creation crystals. I could do this all day. Like, I know but just the fact that it's permanent and it makes you wait before you make that final decision that it's going to be permanent, that like makes me second guess myself. And I couldn't imagine being a kid and doing that, man. That would be just devastating.
Too much.
Too much. Community question time.
Let's do it.
The community question. This week I am going to award the response of the week with something different than normal. We're going to do a $5 donation to the winners on behalf of the winner of the response of the week to the Lightseekers Kickstarter campaign. So, for those of you that have not backed Lightseekers yet, this is your chance to win a $5 package, essentially, or tier. I don't even know what to call it, but Yeah, so we'll donate $5 to the Lightseekers campaign in your name, in your honor, and I'm trying to pull up what that level actually is, because there is a tier for that. It's called the Supporter Pack. It says, thank you for your support. In addition to everything above in the Keeping It Simple pack, you'll be immortalized in the Lightseekers game credits. Receive a Kickstarter exclusive weapon skin, and any figure you play with will recognize you as founder. So we will, whoever the winner is, definitely contact me through DM on Twitter or email, and we'll work out whether or not you just want me to set it all up for you and pay for, or if you want to set it up and then I can PayPal you the $5, whatever works. But definitely trying to help out Lightseekers with this one. Also possibly give somebody who wins this the opportunity to be a founder of the Lightseekers Kickstarter. So I thought it'd be just a fun way to do this, right?
Absolutely.
So no pressure picking the winner of this one, Jason. But the question was kind of on the basis of Lightseekers being a mobile game, being part of the Toys to Life genre, but being different than what we normally think of as Toys to Life, but also thinking about the Nintendo Switch and how that's a mobile transportable console now that may or may not support amiibo, and it kind of makes some things weird in this genre here. So my question was, does the Toys to Life genre interest you for gaming on the go at all? Why or why not? If not, could your mind be changed? We got some really good answers here, Jason, so I'm going to let you go through those.
Yes, we got Rose Up Death here saying yes and no. Yes, great way to play games with friends / new people. No possibility of breaking the toys every so often is okay, but in everyday... so, let me back that up.
Okay.
No, for the possibility of breaking the toys, period, then a separate phrase, not saying every so often is okay, but an everyday thing brings a percentage of breakage. So he's not saying every so often is okay of breaking the toys, but every so often of being able to use the toys on the go.
Sure.
So they want to say, like, Versus Death is saying it's okay to break toys every once in a while. Lone Goldfish, Radio Ghost, says, yes, as long as I don't need to go all Mr. Suitcase or anything. Lost Islands was a good example, RIP. But for primary experience, I doubt it would be good. There just aren't enough hands, and you may not have a table. DMU Girl 2008 says, I'm like Golem with the One Ring with my figures. They are precious. I cannot risk damage. Would play if they weren't required. Spooky Seabass, Fried Seabass says, I love the idea of Toys to Life being mobile so I could play while at family events. But the thought of using... Here's the thing. Is he saying that because he's getting away from the family events, or you want to get the family involved?
We need clarification on that one.
But the thought of using all my phone battery for it doesn't sound appealing. With that, Lightseekers has my interest, and their Kickstarter rewards are making it hard. Andres Otero says, I love portable gaming, but Toys to Life genre is not designed for portable gaming. Bringing the figures on the go could lead to damaging the figures or losing some of the figures. I would love to be proven wrong, but I just can't see it being done well. Adam Tuttle says, this is more of a challenge than a question. It's only a matter of time. Atari Axe says, Skylanders 3DS game handled it pretty well, but I'd like to see Nintendo to improve it. Figures make portability difficult. Green Armadillo says, I left my 4-year-old play with the new figures I pick up vacation, if that counts. Billy DJ Dog says, makes me wish I was 5 all over again. Had a suitcase full of Thundercats with me at all times. Today, I'd prefer a digital check-in. Chris Smith, Warlock as well, says, not really. It would just be way too hard to bring and fumble with all the figures on the go. And finally, Tori says, I love an excuse to pack up and haul all my favorite figures around, but really not feasible. It is interesting.
I kind of want to explain my thoughts on this first real quick.
Sure.
When I think about the Nintendo Switch and, having a portable little base to scan figures in, and could you do that on the go? How I see this happening, and possibly even if Nintendo decides to bring amiibo support to mobile devices like iPhones and Android phones and tablets and such, What if you were to like scan in what figures you would want to be using for that game session before you leave? So it's scanned in, all kind of queued up, ready to go. The game recognizes that you just scanned these things in. Then in your game session, you have them available, and then they expire after like 24 hours or something like that, you know.
Sure.
That would be an alternative to, you know, hauling all your toys around and such.
They should do it so you can scan it, and then that's your roster set. And if you scan in a new character after, like you confirm lineup, and then next time you have to scan a character, it resets your list.
Sure.
You know, because that way it's not like you could theoretically, yes, if somebody had them all, you could scan them all in at that point. Maybe make like a once a week check-in kind of thing.
Right.
But, yeah. But I was saying, it was reminding me of back in the Game Boy Color era, about hauling like a suitcase around. I had this legit Game Boy Color like pouch suitcase kind of thing, and it was almost like a little purse per se. It was like had a little strap on the side, but it held like the device and like the light and like all your accessories. It was like awesome. Like I whipped it open and had like everything you could possibly need for like a road trip with a thing. Mm-hmm. It was great. Yeah. And I remember I left it on the floor of a Cracker Barrel one time and got to the car and was freaking out, ran back in. Thankfully it was still there, but
sure,
that thing was legit. Forgot to say also, Shopkins Inc. tweeted in one saying, I'm running on Atari Alex's time for tonight's community question.
Aren't we all?
Barely getting it in. Says, look, I've seen Toy Story enough to know excuse me. Look, I've seen Toy Story enough to know that toys on the go are just asking to be lost. And it put a picture of Woody lost at the gas station.
Looking horrified.
Looking absolutely horrified.
As only Woody can.
I never freaking realized the gas station was Dynaco. Get the frick out.
Are you kidding? Wow.
I never knew that.
I don't think I did either. I'm looking at that picture now.
That's funny.
I have a whole new level of appreciation for Disney Pixar right now.
Right?
They planted that seed a long time ago.
It's a different, because it's T-Rex now in Cars.
Sure. What was the gap between Toy Story and Cars?
What was it, number of years?
Yeah.
Toy Story was what, 96?
I don't know.
Yeah,
you'd know
because it's 20th year. 95, excuse me, 95. Okay. Last year was 20th year. And then it's 2006.
Wow.
Let me check. Yeah, 2006.
So a 9-year callback to something just totally insignificant in Toy Story.
11 year, but yeah.
11 year. That's how math works. I was going the opposite direction. We need to pick a winner here, Jason.
I don't know. I really don't know. They're all good because, again, it's one of those I want to pick someone's opinion better than somebody else's. Sure. So I'm going to do my defaults. I'm going to count them and put them in a random number generator.
All right. I like that.
Reward to participants. Also, Cleveland's up 6-0, bottom of the 8th. Who saw this coming?
Chicago fans.
Still saying Chicago in 6, or excuse me, Chicago in 7. All right, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 responses.
Alrighty.
Minus Shopkins Inc. Because they're always disqualified.
Big time.
We love you, Shopkins Inc. So let's put them in here. Number 3. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. That is DMU Girl 2008. Saying, all right. I'm like Gollum with the One Ring with my figures. They are precious. I cannot resist damage. Would play if they weren't required.
Congratulations, DMU Girl. Get a hold of me. And she's over in the UK, too, so...
Oh, that's true. We could see her, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lightseekers, let's go visit our friends.
They miss us. We need to get the world tour started. What better place to start it than the UK? DMU Girl, get a hold of me. We'll figure this out. Congratulations, everybody that answered. Thank you so much. A lot of fun. A lot of fun as always. We are going to move on, though, to the Inquire This question.
Ooh.
Are you ready for this, Mr. Expert?
I am ready.
Inquire This segment, of course. is where members of our community write in with trivia questions based on the franchises that we talk about here on the show. They try to stump Jason, the expert, with sometimes super difficult, super random trivia questions. Jason usually gets them right or gets really darn close, like the Pokemon one last week.
I still refuse Mewtwo's heavier than Charizard. I still refuse it. Thunder thighs or not.
Sure. It was rigged. This question comes in from our friend BDK. He says, "Hey guys, I have a question for you. It's not hard at all if you've been following Skylanders from the beginning.
Jeez.
But let's see how you fare. Anyone who's followed Skylanders since the beginning knows one thing. The Skylanders Giants trailers were a freaking mess. For starters, the Giants were way bigger than they are in-game, and in my opinion, they should have stayed that big. There were several versions of the same trailer with different voices for Cinder, Jetvac, Tree Rex, and for Bouncer, his voice without the robot effect. One version of that trailer showed more giants, but was clearly rushed with bad animation. And they said unicorns don't exist in their world, despite the existence of Whirlwind at that time. So yeah, you thought the Supercharger trailers were lame for using the same footage over and over, but these trailers take the cake for being a mess. However, going back to the voices, our friend Jetvac actually had a different accent than the British one he has now. What was it?"
Ooh. Go say Australia.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. I'm trying to think of other accents there could possibly be.
Sure. Australian would definitely make sense. Australia is quite fond of the Skylanders.
Sure.
Unfortunately, you were wrong this week, Jason.
Ooh.
Jetvac in the trailers of Skylanders Giants, or not Giants, yeah. He had a Scottish accent.
I guess that makes sense.
And it was incredibly thick, apparently. So, shout out to Skylanders for consistently not being consistent.
And I think, let me double check my information on this.
I will tell you this, with Skylanders Academy coming out this weekend and playing a whole bunch of Skylanders now, there are certain characters that in my head, because it's so fresh, I have voices for, right?
Sure.
One of them being Glumshanks, who we've had from the beginning of Skylanders. He has a very distinct voice. I love Norm Macdonald dearly. But I'm sorry, it is going to break my head a little bit to hear him as the voice of Glumshanks in the show, and then turn around, play the game, and have Glumshanks have a different voice. I mean, I understand for the show they had to get all the big name actors they possibly could, but oh man, continuity is just broken with this.
I was gonna say, Greg, Alex, or Johnny Reese is voicing Jetvac in the game and the show, so
Perfect.
Having a
perfect
same crossover.
Is Pop Fizz in the show?
Yes.
Is it Bobcat Goldthwait still?
Let me see. Pop Fizz is Yep.
Okay, good, because he has an entire level in Imaginators, and it's more Pop Fizz vocals than like they've ever had before, and it's fantastic. But because like I just played through that level, like I can't see anybody else doing his voice, so that's a good thing. And they kept Chaos, so can't complain too much, right? Could you imagine if they changed Chaos's voice?
Dude, I'll say too, like the press the trap button now?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's I see someone's afraid. Chaos, if you think I'm afraid one more time, I'm going to show you afraid of who's going to punch you in the face. Walking past that portal.
He taunts you, man. He taunts you. Let's get into some emails, shall we?
Let's do it.
Email part of the podcast is sponsored by our friend Evan Parker, who you can find on Twitter as the Lone Goldfish. He also does Twitch streaming. I don't know if he's been streaming the Imaginators yet. I know he's been heavily invested in it. I don't know if he's been streaming them yet, but he did stream a whole bunch of Skylanders gameplay before Imaginators launched. So go over to twitch.tv/The Lone Goldfish and check out what he's doing over there, or just go on Twitter and say hi to Evan Parker, The Lone Goldfish. First email comes in from Mike Sarver. It's a little longer than usual, but he had to get some things off his chest here, Jason.
Understandable.
Says, hey guys, I know this is a week late, but I wanted to discuss my launch day situation with Best Buy and how terribly it all went. This was my first Skylanders game, so I was pretty excited to experience a launch day, and it couldn't have started much worse. I pre-ordered the Crash Edition at Best Buy with in-store pickup to get that sweet 20% off. Tell me about it. Saturday night before launch, I got the email with them saying that Chaos was ready to be picked up, not the starter. I wasn't too worried and just figured they hadn't opened the boxes of starter packs yet. Flash forward to Sunday morning at 8 a.m. My order still showed just pre-ordered for the starter pack and a little red exclamation mark showing that there was an issue. It's never a good thing. Never. I called Best Buy customer service and got a very helpful lady that told me it looked like the item wasn't in stock at my store, and in fact, none of the other Best Buys in town had the Crash Edition either. I believe we have 6 Best Buys in the metro area. She did apparently call someone, quote, in the warehouse, who said they had them and I should call the store when they opened to confirm they could get it out today. At 11 a.m., I called the store. They said they didn't have the Crash Pack, the warehouse didn't have it, and they had no ETA on when they would. He told me that he thought it might have been delayed. I told him it was not the case, but he had no further info for me. I love when employees tell you, oh, it's delayed. No, it's not. I ended up spending nearly 2 hours of my Sunday morning on the phone with various agents trying to figure out what was happening with my pre-order and the Crash Pack. Finally, I gave up and canceled my pre-order online for the starter and went and bought all my day one stuff at Toys R Us. I was so ready to be done with it, I didn't care about the 20% anymore. To add insult to injury, Best Buy decided to change the price of the Chaos figure, still showing ready to pick up, to $49.99 and charged my card. So that took another 10-minute phone call to get that refunded and cancel the Chaos. To this day, not a single PS4 Crash Pack has found its way to a Best Buy in town, as I've checked the store pickup options every day. Not sure what happened at all. Anyway, thanks to Toys R Us, I'm loving the game so far. I'm anxiously awaiting getting my hands on Pinata and Jingle Bell Chompy Mage. Thanks for all you guys do, and have a great podcast. Has anybody gotten the Crash Edition at Best Buy?
I didn't see one when I was there, but I haven't heard.
Because I had the same issue. I haven't seen them at any of my Best Buys either.
I was just looking up now. Still play Hootsicle?
Yeah.
Still not at my store.
Sure.
Because why would it?
Why would it?
I will say too, when you say about the 20% thing, remind me. I don't know. Do you see this GameStop Pro Gaming Pass? Have you heard about this?
No.
So I saw this on Twitter, and I'm like, oh my gosh, GameStop's finally getting involved.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like GameStop rewards Pro Gaming Pass. Step 1, not a Pro member, upgrade in store today. Step 2, get your free Gaming Pass when you pick up Battlefield 1 in store within 30 days of title launch. I'm like, okay, what the frick is this?
Sure.
Okay, so you get this free Gaming Pass when you pick up Battlefield 1 within 30 days of it coming out. Step 3, redeem this free Gaming Pass to save $10 on FIFA 17 or save $20 on Titanfall 2 when purchased in store within 30 days of title launch.
So it's just a coupon.
What? Yeah, and it's
for
just
another
like
EA
super
title.
Yeah. And it's like super specific and weird and like, okay, well. Or you could go to Amazon and Best Buy, save 20% whenever you're done with feel like.
That's EA and GameStop trying to work together and it just being just one giant cluster. I bought the Dark Edition of Skylanders from GameStop.
Yeah, did you get it?
Yeah, I walked in there and bought it. It hurt. It hurt a lot, Jason.
Did you ever enroll in their Skylanders thing?
No. Because I'm not going to shop there. I refuse.
Well, it's a free thing you get on there.
I don't care.
And Why do you hate GameStop? I forget.
I don't agree with the whole trade-in thing. I think they're taking advantage of people, and I don't like their business practices.
I see lots people get so mad about that. I find no problem with it whatsoever. You're paying a low price for the convenience.
I've never had really great experiences in GameStops. I don't know. I don't know. It's just personal flavor, I suppose.
Mm. But they yeah, you get like after so many Skylanders figures you buy, you get a free one.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard this happen to other people. Also, like my account just went off the chain, and I don't know if it goes off of how much you spent versus like I don't know if there's a system that actually counts some. Anyways, I got 3 coupons somehow.
Nice.
For 3 free figures. I heard a couple other people saying the same thing.
Sure.
So I don't know if it's a glitch or not, because I kind of want to save them because I don't need any new figures, but I feel like if kind of want to use them before they get revoked.
Right. Well, here's one reason why just GameStop is irritating. So I walk in, I'm buying the Dark Edition. He's like, "Do you have a phone number? Do you have an account here?" I'm like, "Yeah." I give him my phone number, and he's like, "Well, it doesn't look like you have the Prime membership or whatever it's called. I don't even know what that stupid thing is." And I was like, "No, I probably let it expire, whatever." He's like, "Man, you're so close to getting it. You sure you're just it's like $15 or something?" I'm like, "No, I'm not going to be back in here." He's like, "You're just so close points wise, and if you just pay the $15 now, you can get it." And I'm like, "No thanks, man. No thanks. I just want to buy this and done." He's like, Okay. So I check out. At the end of it, he's like, "Okay, so now you have enough points, and you could get this membership now with just your points if you want to." I'm like, "Why were you just trying to sell me the $15 membership if you knew the points I was about to get were going to give
Commission
it to me
sales,
for free?"
man.
I understand it. So I was like, "Okay, so we could do that now?" He's like, "No, you're going to have to do it online, or you're going to have to come back and do it in a different transaction now."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "See ya. I'm out. See you next year."
Commission sales, it's the worst.
God, I do not envy you folks out there that have to put up with that. So anyway, that's it. Mike Sarver, I'm sorry you had so many troubles with Best Buy and just troubles getting it, but I'm glad you had a reliable Toys R Us and you're able to get what you wanted, and you're playing the game and you're enjoying it as your first Skylanders experience. That's important. So don't blame the retailers. Or blame the retailers. Don't blame the game, I should say. Next email is from Brian. He says, "Dear candy givers and treat takers, what do you think about other items joining the Toys to Life market? Example, sunglasses, watches, hats, and rings. Sorry, just watched some Doctor Who, and his Deus Ex Machina screwdriver was replaced by sunglasses of the 11th hour. I know that I would totally buy hats and glasses if they unlocked content in my game."
Yeah, I mean, Lightseekers looks to be doing something with this, with comics and televisions and commercials or something or other. So it looks like they'll be diving into it a little bit. But yeah, same thing like amiibo cards. I mean, there's stuff to have fun with, but like when it went full on Blitzo crazy, kind of ruins the fun with it. So it can be fun if it's done properly. I don't think anybody's necessarily opposed to it. I mean, a lot of people are gonna hate. People will complain about anything, so it'd be people would hate it, but I don't think it's necessarily wrong either.
Sure.
Could be some fun stuff to be able to get with it.
I think we're just getting, as a society, as a culture, we're inching closer and closer to just everything having chips in it as it is.
Yeah.
So not necessarily Toys to Life genre, but just in general, like I feel, we're to the point where we have watches that we could just scan on vending machines and get stuff.
Right.
And it's only going to get worse.
And I mean, people liked the what you said about that connected devices. Did you see that's how that DDoS attack happened last week?
No.
That when it took down all the websites.
Yeah.
It wasn't off a computer. It was somehow I haven't heard the true technical how it even happened, but it was using everybody's tech devices, like anything that was web connected, like your thermostat, your TVs, anything like that. It was using that to as multiple. So it wasn't just using infected computers. Somehow it was using internet connected devices.
Wow.
because that, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that greatly multiplies their.
Sure.
I think I heard like the stat was 5.5 devices per household.
Sure.
That's like a connected device.
I was gonna say in our household we have 2 computers, but probably 10 connected devices total.
Yeah, same. I mean, I have my watch, my thermostat, my MacBook, my iMac. What? 8
Can I tell you?
Systems?
Can I tell you the first time you said thermostat? In my head, I heard it as thermos. So I was trying to figure out like what internet connected thermos there was out there and why I didn't have one.
Yeah, right, dude. Internet connecting of everything.
It links it links into the weather and it tells you like if it's a hot day, it's gonna cool down whatever beverage you have in the thermos.
It's like even too like the constant syncing of like accounts stuff, like online banking things, like just the convenience, and I just like having one stop. Like there's like I have all my banking on like a certain website, like credit card, everything synced with that, and then all my statements I have stored somewhere else just so I can go to one stop getting there. So like if someone gets access to my accounts, like fudge it, man, I'm done.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh well, what are you gonna do?
Someone's buying a drug plane with that info.
Got that right. But I was gonna say is that, we talked about like the Skylanders, the cards with the cereal boxes. People enjoyed that. Even though it's still, getting the cards on, but people like getting something else, hunting for some other item. Even though it did absolutely nothing, everybody loved trying to find the Finding Dory mac and cheese boxes.
Yep.
So I mean, there's definitely people that enjoy trying to find something.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only limit is people's imagination when it comes to that stuff. So we shall see.
Indeed.
Next email. This is from Green Armadillo, and Jason, bear with me. This is. I need to prep myself for this email a little bit.
Oh, jeez.
It says, Dear Josh and Jason, what do Spanish soccer announcers call the new Skylanders game?
I have no idea.
Imaginado!
She's the least.
Ors!
Golazo!
Josh is legally obligated to say that how it was written, right? Yes. Yes, I was.
Indeed.
He continues, I happened to be on vacation in Barcelona during the Skylanders launch. The only thing I picked up was the adventure pack, and boy, did that take a ton of space in my luggage. It also seemed that stores were struggling for display space with the huge Sensei boxes and all of the multi-packs. Many places had all 3 SWAT Force repackaged bundles. Do you think the size of the boxes is going to be a downside for retailers this year?
I really think it will.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I mean, some of the stuff, the pancakes are pretty tight. So I mean, I honestly can't even remember now. I have to look at some old pictures, like how many they could used to be able to fit on a peg hook or not. But some, like, you can hit 2, like that's it.
Yeah.
And especially in the holiday season, they're not going to be constantly refreshing those shelves. So whether they'll have the stock or not won't be the issue. It'll just be whether it's out on the shelf because it's already been, 2 people bought that figure already.
Sure.
It's off it's going to go, and you can already see the stuff with LEGO Dimensions on. You've seen the infamous pictures going around with the new story pack doesn't fit into the lineup of the stuff, so they had like turn it sideways, like on the end cap,
Mm-hmm.
and it's different stuff like that. It's just not how it's been designed to be used.
Sure.
So
I think retailers will figure it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, definitely it feels like every time when I go into Targets now or Walmarts or whatever, it feels like the Skylander stock is already low. You know, and I know it's just a matter of they have it in back, they're just not stocking it all because they can't fit them all on the shelves. So it definitely feels like it's an issue, and it's also making it feel like they're selling better than they probably are. But
and that's what I'm saying. Like when you go in there, and if like let's say there's 12 peg hooks, and each of those have already had a figure sold, it makes it look like there's barely anything on the shelf because it can only hold 2.
Right
now it's just holding the 1. You're like, oh frick, where'd they all go?
Sure. I think come holiday, once going into November, they'll start figuring that out a little bit better. I hope. Sure.
I was gonna say, it reminded me, the Adventure Pack reminded me, I didn't get to tell my story of the Matt and I's video.
Oh yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, so they so I think I was behind. Like I said, I couldn't get my steel plated hood for a while, so I couldn't make any videos because when I get told the thing, yada 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 yada. So I was like, there's so much stuff out at once. I didn't want to do one giant, huge unboxing video. It would just take forever. And I feel like I could do the justice and it'll just be a lot of stress and everything like that. It's like, it'll be fun to break it down. And I saw Matt was breaking it down. I'm like, oh, hey, look, great minds think alike. And so then I knew his schedule, how he was doing it. So I didn't really even want to start with the starter packs because I was like, all right, I don't want to follow the same schedule Matt's following because he's following a logical schedule. He's doing starter packs, and then he was doing the crystals, and then he was doing the adventure pack, and then he was dipping down to the figures, so bigger to smaller per se. And so sitting there, and so I didn't even pay attention to what he did the day before. And if I would have known that, I would have figured out what he was going to do because he did the Halloween chopscotches because Halloween's more relevant, and then was doing the next. So he's probably doing Hoodsicle tomorrow if I had to guess, because of he's doing the 2 variants on it. So when I was recording the video, I was trying to figure out. I was like, all right, well I'm going to swap up the format a little bit just as I don't do the same release schedule.
Sure.
So in my video, I even said on there, I'm like, I didn't do the starter pack, but I was like, I didn't want to feel like opening all the starter packs. I was like, I'm just going to go right to the figures. And so I was like, well, I was trying to figure out what to even start, like alphabetical order to whatever. I'm like, well, Tri-Tip was the first figure beyond the starter pack figures that they revealed, So I was like, let's just pay homage to that, and I'll do Tri-Tip with the store exclusive. And then I get done, and I recorded the Chopscotch video because I was going to do next because the same thing. It's Halloween. Might as well get that one out there since
sure.
I was like, well, I might as well just do the double variant ones. Let's get those out of the way, which is the same thing what Matt's doing. So I was doing that one halfway through, and after I opened everything, I'm like, oh, shoot. What if Matt's on Tri-Tip today? And I just had this guy. I'm like, he's definitely going to be on Tri-Tip. And I was almost going to text him, but I already recorded it and exported it. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to find out if he does. So posted mine at 10 o'clock. And I didn't see his yet until you tweeted me. I'm like, darn it, I knew it.
It was like an hour after you. I'm like, are you guys joking right now? You guys you made the exact same video. And I don't. Unbelievable, you two.
I'll have to go back because I think it hit me when I was making the Chopscotch video, and I did like an awkward pause. I'll have to go back and see if I can find a moment when I realized that Matt's probably doing the Tri-Tip video, and it wouldn't have been a big deal if I already said the Tri-Tip video. This is my first unboxing video. You know what I mean?
So you set it up in the video as your first,
right? Right. So I couldn't swap it. There's nothing I could do. I'll have to go back and watch that. Because I remember thinking, and I think I'd do it in the middle of opening, so you'll probably see like this look of terror in my face.
Sure.
Like, oh crap.
That's fantastic. You two. I don't even know what to do with you guys. Next email, this is from DMU Girl. She wrote in with several questions, and some really good ones. I'm really impressed with these ones. Here's some Lightseeker questions for you, Jason. With the new add-on options, how much are you guys pledging, and what rewards are you getting for Lightseekers?
Yeah, I'm still at the one I had said before, the $300 one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I know they added a couple more in that realm too. I was glad they added that 150 one on there because someone said before I want to say, I forget who it was. Someone tweeted me too like that day. So it was weird. It goes from 99 the whole way up to 300.
Right.
That's a big gap in there. So they did add that 150 in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm on the legendary pack.
Sure.
And like when Josh texted me, when they put in all the caps, you're the first in the world to play the game. Darn well that's the one I chose.
Early access.
I really wanted the $500 one, but I was like, I don't have the budget for that. But,
sure.
300.
Absolutely. Do you think that limit? Do you think limits on tablet or phone battery life will affect how you play or your enjoyment of the game?
Oh, absolutely. I'll probably have it plugged in, but it's the same thing. Like I don't play very many mobile games anymore nowadays. But it would definitely affect it, I would think.
Yeah. Most of my sit down mobile gaming happens like when I'm on the couch watching TV or something anyway. So being able to be plugged in, as long as it doesn't suck the battery like Battlecast does, will be good.
Sure.
Do you think you will be comfortable playing a game like this with just the touch controls?
No.
Yeah, it's going to take getting used to.
Mm-hmm.
Come to consoles. Please, Lightseekers, come to consoles.
Well, it depends. They might be able to map a lot of stuff to a controller.
Yeah.
Best thing I ever did, rooted my, it was the HP, oh man, what was that thing called? Oh boy, touchpad, HP touchpad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember this way back when.
Sounds familiar.
It had WebOS on it.
Okay.
It was the name of their thing, and it was when like HP just like they just got out and just fire sailed it, and it went from like $500 down to like $99 overnight.
Right.
And they just get rid of their inventory.
Yep.
And like I was using all my tricks in my system to try and find Best Buys that had it, and like use this back end system so I could lock in an order overnight, because it was when it happened, it was the day I was leaving from school, so I couldn't like hunt a bunch of rounds. So thankfully the one out there, so I had to go this 8-hour car ride just hoping it was still going to be there by the time I got there. Thankfully it was. But then since it was such a popular device, we were trying to hack it, put Android on it, stuff like that. So we got Android in there, rooted it, everything like that. So I was running an SNES emulator, playing Super Mario World, and then using my PlayStation 4 controller Bluetooth onto it. The best way. Oh,
nice.
So fun.
Nice. I appreciate that. Let's switch over to the Nintendo Switch real quick. What aspects of the console may lead you to buy or not buy the Switch? Example, does battery life on the thing matter to you?
Like I said, battery life, I don't think it'll matter to me much, because I don't see myself. The only time I see it taken is on a plane, and that part of it looked super intriguing to me.
Sure.
Some people said they probably won't play it with like this detachable controllers on the plane. It would feel like not unnatural as far as like people making fun of me. I just don't think I'd be able to play. Like it would just feel. I don't know if I could have a controller on each hand. It would just feel weird.
Right.
So I might bring like the Pro controller or whatever. But the one thing I was thinking about today, how many people are going to set it up on a kickstand and like lean against the wall and play with some friends? You're just setting an expensive device like in the middle of the hallway. How many people are just going to run by, pick it up, and run?
Sure.
I have been curious about that. But the only thing I'm worried about is just how comfortable the controller is itself.
Yeah.
That's what make or break how much time I'm going to spend with it. If it's not comfy, I'm not like I hate the Wii U gamepad.
Sure.
I like big controllers, but that's too big.
Yeah.
But the battery life won't affect me much, because I do foresee myself a lot of times playing in the living room, getting tired, picking up and taking it into my bedroom and finishing off whatever I'm playing, and then going to bed.
Right.
I don't think the battery life will affect that much on that part.
Sure. I'm buying it day one, no matter what. Ultimately, like, it would be great if they had USB charging, so you could plug in like a battery pack to it, to take it on the plane. If the battery isn't what we hope it is, at least give us options to be able to charge it on the go. That would be fantastic.
Sure.
But yeah, I don't see anything keeping me from buying this thing at this point, so they would have to mess up a lot between then and now to scare me away from it. Like requiring a data network connection 24/7 and having to pay that, and some stupid stuff they could possibly do that would frighten me. But at this point, I'm all on board. So PSVR. Have you had any motion sickness or technical problems?
I've had technical problems like where the one that was the most affecting me was on the PlayStation Worlds, or PSVR Worlds, or whatever they're calling it. My point of center kept getting off.
Yep, that happened to me.
And whenever I try to reset it, it just make it even worse. So I had to sit. If TV is 12 o'clock, I had to sit at like between a 9 and 10 for it to be centered.
Yep.
So I don't know what that was all about. But no, I haven't had any motion sickness at all, which actually really surprises me. Not that I get it, but I just thought I would get affected a little bit, because like the 3D, like the Nintendo 3DS affects me.
Sure.
But this didn't affect me at all, not even a little bit.
Yeah. I haven't had any bad experiences like I did at E3. That was horrible, and I haven't had that at all. The camera getting a little wonky and changing like the center point does happen. A little too frequently than I would like, but it's like whatever.
I mean, it wouldn't bother me if the center got off, but then like when you try to fix it, it makes it like worse, and then I'm like,
then you have
what
to,
the fudge am I supposed to...
You have to close the game and then reopen it, and it recalibrates itself that way. I wish there was a better way to recalibrate everything without having to basically turn off everything first.
Right.
I will say I played, was it last night or 2 nights ago? I played the entire game of Until Dawn Rush of Blood. Boy.
The rail shooter?
Oh boy. Yeah, rail shooter. For one, it makes you feel like you're on a roller coaster. Don't like that at all.
Yeah, sure.
2, That game is way more scary than it has any right to be. I yelled several times because they are not afraid at jump scares and stuff jumping in your face immediately. Also, spoiler alert, there's a level that's based on spiders. Didn't do okay with that one because there's spiders all over. Granted, you're shooting them, so I feel okay with that. There's a giant spider that you have to fight. Okay, not very realistic at all. You know, whatever. I'm dealing with it. The end of the level, though, like when you end the level, a swarm of spiders comes rushing at you and crawls all over you, so it looks like your vision is getting surrounded by spiders. That was the worst feeling of my life. That was horrific.
Have you broke anything at all yet?
My spirit. No, I haven't knocked anything. I'm very conscious of. Val said like I almost bumped into the table a couple times.
Sure.
But haven't broke anything yet, thankfully.
I got within like probably an inch and a half of punching out my light bulbs.
Ooh.
That's it.
Yeah. One session I had, I can't remember what I was playing. Oh, I was playing Job Simulator. And when I was done, I was sitting on the couch, and I don't know if I was already tired going into it or whatnot, but like VR exhausts you. Like,
sure,
you feel super tired at the end. But I was sitting there, and my depth perception was gone. And like I was like trying to grab like the remote control off the couch, and I was like a couple inches away, but I was seeing it as if like my hands were on top of this thing. I should be grabbing it, and I'm not. And that's just because the VR simulation of me grabbing stuff in the game messed up my depth perception outside of the game, and it was bad for like an hour and a half, where I was like, I'm glad I'm not driving anytime soon because this is rough right now. But no, other than that, no motion sickness. Had a lot of fun with it. Really enjoying everything about it. I'm switching up when I'm playing, so I'm not playing the same thing over and over again.
Sure.
You know, she said she had her first VR experience. She wanted to live in the Ocean Descent demo, which is fantastic, by the way. But the Battlezone one made me a little motion sick. Still not sure if I should buy it or not. I did, however, put a deposit down on a Nintendo Switch. Her follow-up question was, has the wow factor worn off yet, or have you ran out of things to play?
The wow factor hasn't laid off for me yet. I haven't dove into all the games I have, so it's spreading it out. Like I said, I was trying to enjoy it over time. Just the same thing. I don't want to get burnt out on it. But I'm super excited for the Star Wars game.
Sure.
Star Wars experience, I should say.
Yep.
Coming. And also, I should say, before people freak out listening to this, DMU girl, as we said earlier, lives in the UK. So if you're like, where'd she put a deposit down?
Sure. And yeah, wow factor has not worn off for me yet. I'm still loving everything I play. Carnival Games VR comes out on Friday. I am super excited for that.
Oh, whatever happened to that amusement park one? I never actually looked into it. I think it was a digital only launch title.
The Carnival Games one?
No, it's one where you could like walk around an amusement park.
Oh, I don't know.
It was like a roller coaster tycoon game. It looked terrible.
That's probably why they didn't come out with it. It might have been just a tech demo type of thing.
Well, they announced it like 2 weeks ago that was coming out on launch day, and it had a game title and everything.
I don't know.
I'll try to find it.
No clue. Finally, wrapping up here, she says, Gilmore Girls. Do you think the upcoming miniseries will come out on DVD?
Yes.
Has Netflix put them out? They have, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, after the fact, though, right?
Well, it's weird. Yeah. I'm trying to think now. I think all the Marvel series have been out. I knew stuff like House of Cards was a little bit different because Netflix actually owns the digital distribution, but not the physical distribution. So when you buy the DVD, you're actually not Netflix gets $0 of when you buy House of Cards on DVD.
Okay.
Because it's owned physical distribution by somebody else, Warner Brothers or something maybe. So this might be another weird thing, but I fully believe it's going to be, especially for the consumer base that's into that.
Yeah.
Sure, it's coming.
I mean, Orange is the New Black came out on disc. So.
Right. Roller Coaster Dreams is the name of the thing.
Any word on what's going on with it?
launches on October 13th. Is every article I can see, but
Whoops.
Did it launch or?
I don't think so. I haven't heard anything about it.
Let me see here. 12/22/2016.
Got bumped.
That's what it got. I guess it was back in July. I thought it was okay. So some reason I felt like it got announced in like September that it was coming. And
Maybe
so I was
people
like,
are just talking about it.
I was like, I don't think they had enough time to delay it.
I mean, if it's just a digital game, I mean, they could delay it however long they want, really.
Right.
I doubt it's coming out on disc, so. Final emails is from our friend Alex, at Atari Alex. Dear Josh and Jason, if you could create a presidential ticket out of Toys to Life figures, who would you choose? I would go with Thumpback as president and Homer Simpson as vice president. Hail to the whale.
So out of Toys to Life figures, who would I make president, vice president?
Yep. The presidential
Spyro.
ticket.
Spyro president, obviously.
Sure.
VP then. You gotta choose somebody. Here's the thing about vice president. Let me go on this rant about this real quick. Vice president is literally pointless. So everybody who says like, "Oh, I'm gonna vote for them for the vice president," like person, that's why they chose that vice president candidate in the first place, just to get you to vote for them. They don't do anything. They don't do jack squat. They don't have an ear to the president.
Well,
crap. Get out of here. Get out of here. They're there for photo ops, and they go to places when Obama or whoever the president doesn't feel like going. That's all they do.
Feel like Dick Cheney may be the exception to the rule.
That's true. But he's manipulative from the beforehand.
That's
when
true.
When the person who's in charge of your vice president picking committee picks themselves, you should know something's up. Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, Dan Quayle was vice president of this country.
Yeah. I would say Mario. Then let's do two main ones there. You know,
okay.
Get Spyro. I think Spyro's the intelligent dude.
Sure.
I think you could you don't want to mess around with him. And a lot of people I can tell you that who doesn't like Mario. Tie over all the undecided.
Right.
The people that think it matters when you vote vice president on the ticket. Tie them over.
Sure. Man.
As Hamilton says in the musical, John Adams doesn't have a real job anyways.
Fair enough.
You haven't heard the song? They were trying to convince Alexander Hamilton to go with them to the lake for the summer, and it said, John Adams taking time away, and then he says, well, John Adams doesn't have a real job anyway. So funny.
Man, I don't know. That's tough. I think Wild Style as vice president. Okay, she appeals to the young generation, right? She gets the women vote. That's important.
Yep.
President, though. President's a tough one. You need somebody who looks like they have some sort of authoritative stance on things, that you would feel comfortable running the nation, no guff attitude, unflappable.
Dude, bad cop. Got the two personalities.
That's. I didn't want to go two LEGO Dimensions ones because I was thinking Superman would be fantastic, right?
Sure.
That'd be a solid presidential choice.
Double Chris Pratt ticket.
That would be good.
Which I know we're getting off the rails, and I apologize, but they did you see about Chris Pratt on Kelly Live the other day?
No.
So they keep having different co-hosts because she doesn't have a co-host right now. So they're bringing in different people at different times, and he's been on a couple times. Well, they have a segment where they you can call in and win a trip or whatever. And they have this spinning wheel, and it lands on there, and you have to answer a trivia question.
Okay.
And it's sponsored by hotels.com or something like that.
Sure.
So anyways, I'm sure there's a bajillion different legal rules to it all and everything like that. How this person wins this prize. This lady guessed what movie did this actress guess in, or what actress starred in this movie, whatever it was. Lady takes a guess over the phone, and it's not right. And then Kelly's like, "Oh darn!" and like, I'm sorry. And then Chris Pratt's like, you know what? We'll give you a second try. And like, Kelly starts looking around, and like, he's like, she guesses and gets it right on the second guess then.
Sure.
And so he's looking around. He's like, what? Am I not allowed to do that? And like, you hear like the producer on the side. He's like, no, you get one guess and that's it. And he's like, oh, well. And like, Kelly's like freaking like awkward. Like, what do you do? And Chris Pratt's like, you know what? I'll cover it. That's fine. I'll cover it. So like, they go to break and come back, and Kelly's like, Chris and I decided we'll split the cost and stuff because Hotels.com's not going to pay for it. You know, their insurance doesn't cover in second guess. You know. Sure. It was so funny. And like, Denzel Washington came out to do an interview, and then he's like, you know what? I'll split, so it goes 3 ways. That was so funny.
I love Chris Pratt. Mega Yarn Yoshi for president.
Oh, there you go.
How could you not love that guy?
How could you not?
He's adorable. He's huggable. He's not the one kissing babies. Babies are kissing him.
That's true. That's very true.
I don't know what his platform stance would be on certain issues, but I don't care. It's Mega Yarn Yoshi. How could you be mad at that guy for anything, right?
It's true.
So, those are our answers. And that concludes our show for tonight, Jason.
Excellent.
I don't know how we managed to do a 2-hour show with the amount of news that we had, but talking Gilmore Girls and football and everything else definitely helped, I'm sure. I hope you have a great Halloween, my friend.
Thank you. I hope you do as well.
Planning on it. Should be fun. You have any big plans this weekend?
No. Corinne's birthday party's on Saturday.
Okay.
So going to see that. If you know anything about my niece, she likes to eat food, and her favorite this weekend, last Wednesday, I guess it was, we went to a buffet. Lancaster County is known for their buffets.
Okay.
Had family style where they just keep bringing you food like constantly, and she ate more than both her brothers combined, probably doubled that. Just constantly just putting it away. Girl's a champ. Anyway, so then we got to the desserts, and she has a huge sweet tooth. So she wanted like this cherry cake thing, and then she wanted some chocolate ice cream, and if she's down, she wanted another cherry cake slice thing. And so anyway, she's all covered in food, from just eating so much. So I tell her, I'm like, Corinne, you're a hot mess. And she goes, I'm not a hot mess. When she says that, chocolate ice cream's like pouring out of her mouth. I'm like, you're going to be a heartbreaker when you get older, and I can't wait. God, I love her so much. But it's an ice cream themed wedding, I think, which is totally fitting.
Okay.
So trying to figure out what presents to get her. Amy said just to get her a bunch of snacks. Not a toy, just get her a bunch of food.
Sure.
So might do that.
Solid.
Then Sunday not doing anything. Probably watch the race. I don't even know what's that actually on Sunday. And then Sunday night, of course, my dad's a Cowboys fan, so Eagles Cowboys, we're gonna have a grand old time.
Right. I'm going to be texting you furiously during that game, I'm sure.
I can't freaking wait.
This Friday, as it stands now, I may be guesting on a podcast that you may be familiar with, our friend Atari Alex and the ABC podcast.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Co-host is out of town. He needs some help.
Burning that thing down to the ground.
He's going to the bench. And I was like, are you sure you want to do this? You know what you're inviting, right?
Please
Friday?
make sure you like awkwardly don't talk for 40 minutes like the famous Periscope.
I'm going to drop so many references on that I don't know if his audience will even get or not. And I don't care. It's a late Friday night podcast. Somebody else that I don't have to do any prep work for. I just show up and talk. Oh, that thing's going to the side of a mountain.
Sweet. So what you're saying is it would be the first and last time you ever invited on the Atari Alex podcast?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if I have one shot, go big or go home, right?
Go big or go home, man.
It's the only way. That's the Toys for Games way. Jason, where can people find you at?
Yeah, you can always follow me personally on Twitter, twitter.com/JasonInquires. You can also follow me on all my various Toys to Life-centric accounts of Skylanders Inquirer and Brick Inquirer. And again, be sure to head to Instagram, YouTube, and all the fun jazz. It's all on his Jason Inquires account.
Definitely. You can
I got distracted because the Warriors are down 20 points at the end of the third.
Ooh, ouch.
To the Spurs. Yowzers! This is my bet. I was thinking at the beginning that they're going to not even try at the beginning of the season just so they don't have to get the constant pressure of having to win all the time.
Sure.
Just lose the first game and then people will stop talking,
Absolutely. I mean, rest all your players until the playoffs. That's what the Spurs do.
It's true.
Look how many championships they've won by doing that. Stupid amount. Great. Now you got me on
Season's
that.
too long.
Yeah, 100% sure, especially for 76ers fans. You can find me personally on Twitter at The Noise. You can follow the show on Twitter at Toys for Games. You can email us, podcast@toysforgames.com. Check out our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/toysforgames. Our website, toysforgames.com. If you'd like to support us and what we do, you could do so on Patreon, patreon.com/toysforgames. Also, Extra Life, November 5th, midnight to midnight. So Friday at midnight to Saturday at midnight, 24-hour gaming live stream. Part of the Kinda Funny team, helping raise money for the Children's Miracle network of hospitals. I'm going to be playing Skylanders. I'm going to be playing a lot of LEGO Dimensions. Bunch of other games. I think Colin is going to come over and play some co-op games. It's going to be fun. I have some giveaways to do, encouraging people to do maybe like some raffle ticket type thing. Donate $5, sure. You get entered into a giveaway or something like that. So it'll be over on Twitch, twitch.tv/toysforgames. Of course, I'll be tweeting it out and making sure everybody has the link to watch me play games. Anybody that wants to hang out, I will need encouragement throughout the stream, so I'm hoping everybody that possibly can come to watch me play some video games, chat, have some fun, do some giveaways, do our thing, you know?
Sure.
Do our thing. So that's coming up in about a week and a half, so all the information is over at toysforgames.com. Extra Life 2016. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Everybody, hope you have a happy and safe, most importantly, safe Halloween next Monday. Until next time, happy hunting, collectors.